You know how some of your favorite apps feel absolutely instant, while others just seem to lag and spin? Well, the secret behind that is a hidden concept that pretty much runs our entire digital world. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on it. So I want you to imagine a list. Not a small one, a list with 10 million names on it. Seriously, 10 million. And your job is to find one specific name on that list in less than a second. How on earth would you even start? Now, that whole 10 million user problem, it's not just some brain teaser. This is a real-world headache that big companies deal with every single day. Think about a huge cellular company, right? They've got 10 million customers. Managing all that data isn't just important. It's absolutely essential to their business. So here's their challenge. Every time they sign up a new customer, they have to be 100% sure that person doesn't already have a contract. This is huge for preventing basic errors and, of course, for stopping fraud. And that check has to be spot on and super fast, every single time. Okay, so if you're tasked with solving this, what's the first thing you'd think of? Probably the most obvious approach, right? Just make one giant, single list. It's simple, it makes sense. But as you're about to see, it has a massive, fatal flaw. In the programming world, they call this a linear array. You're basically just lining up all the customer info, their ID, name, address, you name it, one after the other. You end up with this enormous single file of 10 million people. Seems logical enough, right? But here's where it all falls apart. A new customer, let's call him Zain Ahmed, comes in to get a phone. The computer gets his ID and starts at the very top of that massive list. It checks his ID against user number 1. Is it a match? Nope. Okay, on to user number 2. Still no match. Then number 3. And it keeps going. In the absolute worst-case scenario, the computer might have to make 10 million checks just to find that one person. So what's the downside here? I think it's becoming pretty obvious. This method is incredibly painfully slow. Can you imagine standing in the phone store while the employee's computer just chugs away, sifting through millions of names? It's a total non-starter. It just doesn't work in the real world. All right, so going through 10 million names one by one is a dead end. If a simple list won't cut it, what will? The solution isn't about getting a more powerful computer. Nope. The secret is to organize the data in a much smarter way from the very beginning. This leads us to a much, much better idea. We'll call it the dictionary method. Instead of one giant, messy list, imagine we break it up into 10 smaller lists, or buckets. Each bucket is labeled 0 through 9. So, if a user's ID starts with a 6, they go in the 6 bucket. If it starts with a 1, they go in the 1 bucket. See? Now when we need to find someone, we just look at the first digit of their ID, and bam! We jump straight to the correct, much smaller list. I mean, the difference is just staggering. The brute force way on the left has to plod through all 10 million records every single time. But with our smarter dictionary structure on the right, you instantly shrink the problem. Your search goes from a pool of 10 million down to, on average, just 1 million. That's a 10 times improvement right off the bat. And what we've just done here, this simple choice between one giant list and 10 smaller buckets, is we've picked a different data structure. And that's all a data structure is really. It's just a fancy name for a specific way of organizing your data so you can use it efficiently. And let me tell you, this choice is not some minor nerdy detail. The decision about which data structure to use can have absolutely massive consequences for how well a piece of software actually works. Just let that quote sink in for a second. We're not talking about the difference between a program running in 1 second or 2 seconds. We're talking about the difference between a few seconds and many days. This is why it's one of the most critical decisions a programmer can possibly make. But of course, there's no magic bullet. Choosing a data structure is always a game of trade-offs. You're always juggling 3 main things. First, there's time. How fast is this thing going to run? Second is space. How much of the computer's precious memory is it going to eat up? And finally, there's effort. How complicated is it to actually build and maintain this thing? A solution might be lightning fast, but it could devour all your memory. It's a constant balancing act. So what this all means is that there is no single best data structure. It just doesn't exist. That simple list is easy to code, but horrible for searching. Our dictionary is way faster to search, but it takes a little more effort to set up. It's like a toolbox. The right tool always depends on the specific job you're trying to do. And just like a good carpenter picking the right saw, software developers are making these choices every single day. The results of those choices are all around you, forming the invisible architecture of the technology you use constantly without even thinking about it. So let me leave you with this thought. Think about the apps on your phone. Which ones feel instant? When you search for a contact or a photo or a song, and it just pops up immediately. And which ones make you see that little spinning wheel? The difference between instant and hurry up very often comes down to the clever data structures working behind the scenes. It's the hidden art of organization that makes our fast-paced digital lives possible.